Hello and welcome back to the shop here. We are working on a Briggs Stratton Vanguard 37 horse electronic fuel injected engine. This engine's running bad. It doesn't have any power, so we're going to do some troubleshooting here. We're going to hook it up to the laptop and run the Briggs software, see if we can see any fault codes in it. We're just going to kind of go through some troubleshooting here, see if we can figure out why it's running bad. So I'm going to crank it up here and show you how it runs. Hold on just a second. You can see that that's not running right. It kind of sounds like it's got a dead miss on one side. But working on these EFI engines, you can pretty much forget all that you learned about how to diagnose a lawnmower engine, because you pretty much need a laptop to look and see what's going on with it. But we're going to get everything hooked up here, and then we'll start doing some troubleshooting here. Hang on. Okay, we've got the Briggs & Stratton software cable hooked up to our laptop. Right now we're running the software on it. We're going to go ahead and turn the key on. When we turn the key on, it'll hook up to the laptop here, and I'll go to a screen record mode where you can see this screen a little better, because I know that doesn't show up very good. So go ahead and turn the key on, since we have everything hooked up, and we don't even have to crank it. We just turn the key on, this will go ahead and initialize here. Okay, now it's showing all the sensors and everything on the engine. We can see that we've got a fault code up here, a P0352 fault code. That fault code is ignition coil cylinder number 2 malfunction. If we click on the information on that, it kind of gives us some possible things to do to diagnose it, making sure that the wires are hooked up correctly, that kind of stuff. So what we're going to do, we're going to do a fire test on both sides here. And then we'll pull all this top sheet metal and stuff off, and just to make sure everything's hooked up and we don't have any shorts in the wires or anything. But probably going to need a coil over here on this number 2 side. Sounds like we've got a bad coil is what the computer's telling us. We're just going to confirm that. This is a commercial user, so you wouldn't want to just put one coil on it. It would be a good idea to go ahead and replace both coils. Okay, we've got the fire tester hooked up on this side. I've got the spark plug boot off the other side because I don't want it to crank. I'm just trying to check the fire. So let's see if we have any fire here. I saw it fire one time there. So that's just kind of confirming what the laptop and software is telling us, that this side's not firing at all. Okay, let's hook this up to the other side and see what happens. Okay, this was the good side over here, so we should have fire here. It's going to be kind of hard for me to reach the key to spin this over, so kind of bear with me here. This side here we should see fire. Okay, and that confirms. This is the coil side that kept the engine running here. This was the good side. So hang on now, we're going to rip all this sheet metal and stuff off out of the way here and expose this coil. We're just going to double check and make sure that the wires and stuff is hooked up good on it. So hang on a minute. Okay, we're back here. We've got all this sheet metal off this engine here. Looking at this side over here at the wires and stuff, not seeing any problems. No connection issues or anything, no chewed wires. Don't see where any mice has been chewing any wires or anything. So our bad coil's over here on this side. We're going to replace it. We're going to go ahead and replace this other one too, just to make sure. This engine's got 2,000 hours on it, so we're not taking any chances trying to make a coil last a little longer. It's just a lot of trouble to get in here to replace them, so we're going to go ahead and start fresh with 2 new coils. These coils just have 2 fasteners that hold them on, and then a wire that's plugged in, so fairly easy to take off. So I'm going to put a link down below in the description to where you can buy these coils. If I can locate them, I'm sure I can. So just if you need some of these coils, just look in the description down below where you can buy them. Okay, we've got our 2 new ignition coils on here. We're going to go ahead and fire this thing up and see if the check engine light goes out. And also we'll be watching the software on it just to see if the fault codes go away and the engine light goes away on the software. So stand by and we'll fire this thing up. Okay, you can see that runs a whole lot better. That sounds a lot better. Doesn't even sound like the same engine running. Our fault code light never came on this time. So we're going to go ahead and get all this sheet metal and stuff back on here. Okay, we've got everything back together here. We're going to run it one last time and just double check everything. Okay, we got this back together. Everything works good. This motor's ready to go. Once again, thank you for watching and look forward to seeing you on our next video. Thank you. We're going to do some diagnosing here. Dad nabbit. We're going to do some diagnosing here. Dad nabbit. We're going to do some diagnosing here. Dad nabbit. We're going to do some diagnosing here. Dad nabbit.